That's your footy record.
Hi everyone, welcome to this week's edition of On The Record, brought to you by Woolworths, as we take a sneak peek inside this week's bumper souvenir milestone edition of the AFL record. And joining me this week is my AFL media friend and colleague, Nick Bowen. Nick, welcome to the show.
G'day, Ash.
Good to be here. Straight into it, big edition coming up. We're starting with Boomer Harvey, of course, Saturday night at Etihad Stadium, game 427, the AFL VFL games record. Nick, you'll be there holding up the banner, sitting the cheer squad as you do. What's the secret to his longevity?
Well, Ash, he just doesn't get injured and he's been able to train. Incredibly durable player. And he's, beyond that, obviously the good genes, he's been incredibly professional as well. So a little bit of luck, but a lot of professionalism as well.
He's still the best half dozen players in the side. Oh,
very much so. I think that his best football this year has been fantastic. He kicked a career six goals against the D's in round 3.
And is he as beloved at North Melbourne as, say, Shimmer and Arch and Steve-O and the real shin boners that everyone sort of adores that footy club?
Look, I think he is, Ash. I think it's probably outside the club where that pesky little personality, you know, the small forward, perhaps he's not as loved as, say, an Archer, but inside the club, definitely.
OK. Friday night at Simmons Stadium, 2 Geelong milestones. Let's start with Jimmy Bartell playing his 300th game. Now, remarkably, for a player who has 3 premierships, a Norm Smith and a Brownlow, he still plays with a chip on his shoulder.
Well, he does, Ash, doesn't he? I think that he sort of would say that he hasn't had the physical talent that some other players have had, but he's just a really natural footballer and been a superstar over the journey.
Now, Corey Enright is going to play his 325th game, which makes him the longest-serving player in the history of that great club. Has there ever been a more understated club record games holder?
Well, maybe Bruce Doull. Before he was overtaken by Craig Bradley, I'd say, was pretty quiet.
Could he go on again next year?
Look, he could, Ash, and I think that the good thing for him is that it'll be a decision that's really up to him. I think that his form's good enough that the Cats will want him to go on, and really up to him as to whether he wants to do that.
Sunday afternoon, Domain Stadium, Matthew Pavlich plays his 350th game for Fremantle. I'll put it to you, Nick, that there's never been a finer player from a West Australian club in the AFL. I know you're partial to Ashley Sampi, but apart from that, what about it?
Well, he clearly gets the nod at Fremantle, doesn't he? I think he's clearly been the best there. I think if you look at West Coast, you're probably looking at Glenn Jakovich, Dean Cox, line ball call there, but I'd be prepared to give him the nod.
It's been remarkable because the travel factor kills these guys. Dean Kemp retired 2 years early because his body couldn't stand the travel. Pavlich has travelled across the country every second week for 16 years. Yeah,
and I think, you know, someone like Mick Malthouse would say just how much Victorian-based clubs underestimate the impact that travel does have. So for Pav to play, you know, a lot of that time, Ash, in the hardest position on the ground, centre-half forward, and to stand up and play as consistently well for as long as he has is remarkable.
All right, now turn to the back half of the mag this week. And, of course, while we focus on Geelong and North Melbourne, their opponents this week have got really good stories of their own. Friday night at Simmons, we talk about Geelong, but the Western Bulldogs, can they recover from a traumatic night in just 6 days to take on Geelong?
Well, what a night, Ash, wasn't it? I mean, you know, you see Mitch Wallace going down like that, Redpath obviously with the knee. Look, I don't think they can. I think that they can recover by the end of the season, but it's only really, I think, 6 weeks ago they got a real touch-up from the Cats as it was. They're going down to Simmons Stadium. I think the Cats will be too strong.
Tom Boyd, he's really got to step up now, doesn't he?
Look, he does, Ash. I mean, Redpath going out, you know, this is why they recruited Tom Boyd. I know that he's going to be better in later seasons, still a young player, but look, the finals are still very much alive for the Dogs. They've got a real chance to go pretty deep in them, but they will need Boyd to stand up.
Saturday night at Etihad for the Boomer game. The Saints have won their last 7 at Etihad. Can they upset North?
Why would you suggest that, Ash?
Well,
why would they want to rain on the great man's parade? No, look, they can. They play Etihad Stadium remarkably well. They actually have the pace and the outside run to trouble North Melbourne as well. So I think they can. Having said that, I think it'll be a great match. North certainly can win as well, but I think that the thing will be that I don't think they can catch them in the finals race.
Jack Stevens been a remarkable player for St Kilda this year. Now an elite midfielder, isn't he?
Yeah, look, he has been, and I think that he's one of a number of the seasoned Saints who've really stood up as the younger brigade start to come through. So as encouraging as the younger Saints have been, I think a lot of the mature, wiser heads have really, I suppose, been just as influential.
And I need a big game for Nick Riewoldt, won't they?
They will. And look, you know, Nick is still, you know, he's got one of the most battle-scarred bodies in the AFL, but still produces sort of week in, week out. So there's no reason he can't do it again.
It is going to be a very big round, Nick. Look forward to your contributions over the weekend. Enjoy the game Saturday night.
Thanks, Ash.
We'll see you next time. And now to our tips for round 19. I do think that on Friday night, Geelong will be too strong for a tired Western Bulldogs. They should get home quite comfortably, I think. North Melbourne will beat the Saints in what will be a cracking game Saturday night. I've got them winning that game by 10 points. And I don't think any joy for Matthew Pavlich on Sunday. I think the Swans will get home in what is a really important game for them with their top 4 aspirations at Domain Stadium. And now let's have a look at this week's nominees for the Woolworths Mark of the Year competition.
There's McKenzie wasting no time. Drives it a long way from goal. Oh, Dore! Wow. That is a leap. Spectacular.
At its highest point too.
Hipwood. Oh, what a mark.
Gee, that's hard to defend, isn't it, when he runs and jumps?
That is a terrific one-grab mark for a tall man. Roughhead.
This is a 2-on-1. That's a good start. They've got to win the ball.
Oh, pick and flying high. She takes a good hang for a little. Just full commitment to the ball.
I'll be voting for Mad Jack Dore, and you can too by visiting markoftheyear.afl.com.au. Now, before we go, don't forget we're giving you the chance to design the cover of our Round 23 edition. Pick up a copy of the magazine or send an email to aflrecord@afl.com.au and we'll give you all the details you need. This week, we've got 3 covers to celebrate the 3 fantastic milestones. Here's a national cover featuring North Melbourne's Boomer Harvey. Have $5 ready. Look for the kids in the green caps and the green jackets. Thanks for watching this week's edition. We'll see you next time.